Finally, London, where an unusual exhibition's highlighting a revival of interest in traditional arts and craft. The work of a silversmith, keenly watched. This smith isn't in his usual workshop, but in a museum, in fact, a living showpiece at London's Victoria and Albert Museum. He's part of an exhibition called The Makers, makers being a medieval word for craftsmen. Apart from the silversmith, there are woodcarvers, lace makers, bookbinders, and a host of other workers in what many visitors believed were dying trades. But the truth is that some old skills are actually flourishing. Today there are plenty of customers prepared to pay out money for items made by craftsmen who take a loving pride in turning out work which bears their personal hallmark. Many visitors to the exhibition have been surprised at just how much can still be made by hand,
book, and it'll be like a cheese roll, just cut straight
designs.
And the idea is to just do it very gently, because the paper is soft.
This bookbinder, who normally works in the museum's restoration department, drew huge crowds.
The work is repairing old bindings. This we haven't done it in this instance because most of the old bindings that are in the old collections are fairly valuable, so you can't have them out on display. And as this is the Makers exhibition, you want to be making as opposed to repairing. So this is to say what we're doing here. But
how many pages there are? So many pages there are?
In this instance, there's 12 in the time. In this instance, there's 12 in the time. There's 12 at once. Oh yeah, yes. It depends on the thickness. Yes. It's only on the sewing process is really in how thick the book is. Just the right number for this 12 and the back. This will be just the right number for this 12 page. It'll be quite ample. Well, the normal form of sewing a book is it comes in folded sections, and you would sew through the centre of a section. But this book originally.
Church robes and altar cloths are still largely handmade in Britain, with each golden piece painstakingly sewn into place.
Do you think it's a good idea to have living exhibits in a museum like this?
Well, I think it's very good. I haven't had time actually to go around and see other people, but the quantity of children who've been by here today, yes, I'm sure it must be a very good thing.
Can they get a real idea of what your work involves?
Oh, I think so, because I purposely bought a piece up that would give them, you know, a really good idea of what I do, yes.
And they're interested, are they?
Yes, they've asked me actually very intelligent questions. I mean, considering it's something they can't know very much about.
And children, have you enjoyed it?
Yes.
Lace making, more of an art than a craft, was another fascinating feature. Watching an expert's almost hypnotic, and its popularity is increasing.
They are, but there is a growing interest in handmade lace as a hobby. It's not being made today as a commercial thing for sale at all. It just wouldn't pay present rates of labour and so on. But as a hobby, people are increasingly interested in it.
This apparently aimless shuffling creates an intricate pattern from the spidery threads. A slow and patient process, but a satisfying one, producing a highly individual article from the rawest of materials. The V&A exhibition surprised even its organisers by the interest that was shown in it, and if the visitors there could have been transported to this spot at Ports near Cologne in West Germany, they'd have seen an even rarer artist at work. Arjo Brossite is West Germany's only painter of icons, the richly decorated panels which have been a feature of churches since Byzantine times. Brossite's finely painted works have a character of their own. Their strong colours have an egg-white base, a factor which ensures they'll retain their bright appearance literally for centuries. The colours and the style of Brossite's paintings are unorthodox, and he's adopted modern techniques, but he's stayed with the same much-loved subjects which have remained popular since the dawn of the icon age 1200 years ago. Many modern icons are slavish copies of famous medieval originals. But Brossite has gone a stage further, adding his own representations of scenes more often associated with Roman Catholicism and the Western churches. Brossite's version of the Bethlehem stable, the Three Kings, Mary and the carpenter Joseph, Angels, painted in Brossite's simple style with no perspective, no light and shade. A modern Christ. Brossite's studio on the Rhine has the same monastic atmosphere that there must have been when the first icon painters set about their tasks. At one time, they defied the law to complete icons for European churches. What would the icon painters of the 8th century have thought of work like this? Its purpose is the same, to glory God through art. And of course, religion has been one of the greatest inspirations for generations of artists. In their way, the icons of Brossite reflect attitudes to religion today, more stark, more practical, more realistic, more challenging than ever before. At the same time, Brossite's icons are being made to last, for a faith which he evidently believes to be enduring.